12 Stoic Rules to Recognize Envy and Falsehood in Others. Have you ever walked away from a conversation with a gnawing feeling that something wasn't right? Maybe your coworker complimented your recent success but quickly changed the subject to highlight their own achievements. Or perhaps a friend offered advice on your relationship that left you doubting yourself instead of feeling supported. You replay their words, their tone, their smile, but beneath the surface, something feels off. What if I told you that envy, one of humanity's most ancient and destructive emotions, could be at work here? Not the loud, obvious kind of envy, but the quiet, insidious one, masked by politeness, cloaked in advice, or hidden behind laughter. The kind that doesn't just live in others but, if left unchecked, can creep into your own heart. Marcus Aurelius once warned, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When envy lingers, it poisons connections, plants seeds of insecurity, and leaves us blind to what truly matters, our own growth and resilience. Recognizing envy and falsehood isn't just about spotting threats in others, it's about strengthening your character so their shadows can't touch your light. Imagine this: you've just landed a big project at work, and during the team meeting, your colleague offers a lukewarm "congratulations" followed by a pointed remark like, "Let's hope you can actually handle it." Or picture this: you've shared exciting news with a friend about a personal milestone, only to notice how quickly they shift the focus back to themselves, overshadowing your moment of happiness. Are they truly happy for you? Are their compliments genuine, or are they masking something darker? How much of what they say, and who they are, is real? The Stoics, masters of the mind subways, understood this silent battle better than anyone. They taught that clarity and self-control are our greatest allies in navigating envy, falsehood, and manipulation. In this journey, we'll explore 12 powerful Stoic rules that help you not only recognize these destructive forces but also rise above them. These aren't just philosophical musings, they're practical tools to fortify your relationships, protect your peace, and empower your journey toward self-mastery. Let's uncover the truth together. The first rule: understand that envy isn't about you, it's about them. Stay strong, stay stoic, and let's dive in. Before we delve into the first way to recognize envy and falsehood, let's ground ourselves in the essence of Stoicism. This philosophy teaches us that we cannot control the actions or opinions of others, but we can control how we perceive and respond to them. Envy and deceit are tests of our inner strength. They challenge us to stay composed, to remain true to our values, and to see through the illusions others may project. As Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So, how do we respond when faced with envy disguised as advice or falsehood masked as friendship? By mastering the Stoic art of awareness and resilience. Let's begin with the first principle: understanding how envy aims to destroy your dreams and how you can rise above it. Number 1. When envy destroys your dreams. Envy is a silent saboteur, a force that thrives in the shadows, seeking to undermine not with blatant hostility but with whispers of doubt. It creeps in through the words of those around you, often masked as concern, advice, or even friendship, and strikes at the heart of your dreams. Its goal is clear: to make you question yourself, to erode your confidence, and to paralyze you into inaction. Picture this: you've shared your ambitious goal, a bold career move, a daring creative project, or even a dream of starting your own business, with someone you trust. Their response isn't outright discouragement. Instead, it's subtle and insidious. "Are you sure that's a good idea? What if it doesn't work out? Isn't that a bit risky?" These words, seemingly innocent, carry the weight of envy. They plant seeds of hesitation in your mind, cloaked in the guise of caution. Marcus Aurelius warned against this very thing: the opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them knows anything about the subject. The Stoics remind us that envy often arises not from a place of knowledge or wisdom, but from insecurity. The envious see your dreams as a mirror reflecting their own unfulfilled potential, and rather than confront their shortcomings, they seek to dim your light. Envy is not always overt. It hides behind gestures of fake support or excessive criticism disguised as advice. For example, a colleague might subtly undermine your confidence during a meeting by questioning your ideas in front of others. Or a friend, instead of celebrating your new venture, might list all the ways it could fail. These actions are not meant to guide you but to make you doubt yourself and shrink your ambitions to their comfort level. The damage it causes. If left unchecked, these seeds of doubt can take root. You might find yourself hesitating, second-guessing your capabilities, or even abandoning your goals entirely. This is precisely what envy aims to achieve, the stagnation of your growth. Dreams crushed by the fear of failure are victories for envy and defeats for your potential. The Stoic response. How do we rise above this? The Stoic approach begins with clarity. Recognize envy for what it is, an emotion born out of insecurity and dissatisfaction in others, not a reflection of your worth. Seneca's wisdom reminds us, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. Envy is their burden, not yours. When someone questions your dreams, pause and ask yourself, are their words grounded in genuine concern, or do they reflect their own limitations? If the latter, detach emotionally. Thank them for their input, but let their doubts fuel your determination rather than hinder it. Visualize your dreams as a lighthouse, standing firm against the waves of skepticism. No matter how hard they crash, the light remains unwavering, guiding you toward your purpose. Practical actions. Guard your dreams. Share your ambition selectively with those who genuinely uplift and encourage you. Journal your vision. Write down your goals and revisit them regularly to keep them alive and vibrant in your mind. Affirm your capability. Use daily affirmations like, I am capable, resilient, and committed to my purpose. Stay focused on the path. Remember that the only approval you need is your own. Envy can only destroy your dreams if you let it. By anchoring yourself in Stoic principles, you reclaim the power to rise above, to persevere, and to keep moving forward with strength and clarity. Let their envy be the wind that propels your ship forward, not the storm that capsizes it. Number 2, the subtle sting of hidden hostility. Not all envy comes with snarls and sneers. Sometimes, it wears a smile. Hidden hostility, the kind that masquerades as friendship or concern, can be more insidious than outright opposition. It's the quiet whisper behind your back, the half-hearted applause when you succeed, or the faint shadow of doubt cast over your brightest moments. Imagine this scenario. You've been promoted at work, a moment you've worked tirelessly for. Your colleague, always warm and friendly, offers their congratulations. But later, you overhear them telling another coworker, well, they got lucky. Honestly, it could have been anyone. Or perhaps a friend you thought had your back suddenly becomes distant, their support fading the moment you step into the spotlight. Their smiles remain, but their enthusiasm for your success wanes. The Stoics were no strangers to this behavior. Marcus Aurelius wrote, when another blames or hates you, or people voice similar criticisms, go to their souls, penetrate inside, and see what sort of people they are. You will realize there is no need to be racked with anxiety that they hold this opinion about you. These moments aren't about you, they're a reflection of their inner turmoil. The impact. Hidden hostility can make you question the sincerity of relationships. It sows seeds of mistrust, leaving you wondering who genuinely supports you and who doesn't. The worst part? It can make you doubt yourself, even when you've earned every bit of your success. The Stoic perspective. Stoicism teaches us not to let others' behavior control our inner peace. The opinions and actions of others are beyond our control. What remains in our hands is how we respond. When faced with hidden hostility, approach it with calm detachment. Epictetus reminds us, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. Their envy and subtle undermining only have power if you grant it. Rather than confronting hostility head-on with equal bitterness, the Stoic approach is to rise above. Be cordial, yet firm. Let your actions speak louder than their whispers. Instead of succumbing to frustration, channel that energy into reinforcing your resolve and staying true to your path. Practical actions. Set emotional boundaries. If someone's behavior consistently undermines your peace, distance yourself respectfully but firmly. Focus on supportive connections. Invest your energy in relationships that uplift you and celebrate your growth. Stay grounded in your achievements. Reflect on your journey and remind yourself that you've earned your success. No one can take that from you. Rise above the noise. Let your consistency and character outshine any quiet negativity directed your way. Hidden hostility loses its sting when you refuse to let it pierce your spirit. The power of Stoicism lies in this refusal, in choosing not to retaliate or sink to the level of envy but instead to soar above it, quietly confident in your worth. Let their whispers fade into the background as you march steadily forward, grounded and unshaken. Number 3. Sabotage disguised as advice. Are you sure you want to do that? It seems risky. Maybe you should stick with what you know. These words might sound like caution from a concerned friend or colleague, but sometimes they mask a more destructive intent: sabotage disguised as advice. Unlike outright hostility, this form of envy cloaks itself in a facade of care, subtly steering you off course. The covert underminer. Imagine you're excited about a new opportunity, a career shift, a creative project, or even a new relationship. Someone close to you offers unsolicited advice, peppering it with doubts. You know, not everyone succeeds in that field, or, do you really think you're ready for such a big step? Their words, laced with hidden envy, plant seeds of uncertainty, making you second-guess your instincts and decisions. Epictetus cautioned against this when he said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our thoughts about them." Saboteurs thrive on this principle. They aim to alter your perception, making you doubt your aspirations through seemingly well-meaning advice. The impact. Sabotage disguised as advice can derail your momentum. When someone you trust questions your abilities or motives, it chips away at your confidence. You might delay taking action, overthink your decisions, or, worst of all, abandon your plans altogether. This erosion of self-belief can leave lasting scars, making you hesitant to share your ambitions or trust others in the future. The worst part? You might internalize their doubts, letting someone else's envy define your path. The Stoic solution. The Stoics teach us to differentiate between genuine concern and disguised envy. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the object of life is not to be on the side of the majority but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. When advice feels more like a subtle put-down than a helpful suggestion, it's time to recalibrate. Rather than reacting with anger or frustration, respond with clarity and composure. Recognize their words for what they are: projections of their insecurities, not reflections of your capabilities. Stay anchored in your purpose, trusting your instincts and the wisdom of your own experiences. Practical actions. Evaluate the source. Consider the motivations behind their advice. Is this someone who genuinely supports you, or could envy be clouding their perspective? Stay firm in your vision. Before sharing your plans, strengthen your own confidence. Write down your goals and the reasons they matter to you. Seek feedback wisely. Turn to mentors, trusted friends, or professionals who have your best interests at heart. Their guidance will be constructive, not destructive. Practice gratitude and detachment. Thank them for their input, but don't let it sway your decisions. Marcus Aurelius encouraged gratitude even for challenges. Adapt yourself to the things among which your lot has been cast and love sincerely the fellow creatures with whom destiny has ordained that you shall live. Sabotage disguised as advice can only derail you if you give it permission. By embracing Stoic wisdom, you fortify your inner resolve, transforming subtle undermining into fuel for your ambition. Stand tall, not in defiance but in quiet certainty, knowing that your path is yours to carve, no matter how much others might try to cloud it. Number 4, the humiliation game. Humiliation is a tactic as old as envy itself. Those who feel threatened by your growth or success often attempt to bring you down, not through outright confrontation but by subtle jabs, embarrassing anecdotes, or public belittlement. It's a method designed to erode your confidence while maintaining the guise of playfulness or camaraderie. The art of subtle shame. Picture this: you're in a team meeting, excitedly presenting a new idea you've worked tirelessly on. As you speak, someone interjects, laughingly pointing out an unrelated mistake you made months ago. Remember the last time you tried something like this? That didn't go so well, did it? The room chuckles, and your momentum falters. While it may seem harmless on the surface, moments like these aim to shift the focus from your competence to your flaws. Seneca warned against giving power to such behavior. You will cease to fear if you cease to hope. By understanding that humiliation tactics are a reflection of their envy, not your shortcomings, you regain the upper hand. The impact. The humiliation game strikes at your self-esteem. When someone consistently undermines you, even in jest, it creates an environment where you second-guess your abilities. Over time, it can stifle your creativity and willingness to take risks, making you shrink back to avoid being the target again. This tactic often damages relationships. It's hard to trust someone who uses your vulnerabilities as ammunition, especially under the guise of humor or honesty. The Stoic response. The Stoics teach us to separate the action from its emotional sting. Epictetus advised, "Remember, it is not the person who insults you who is to blame, but your opinion that the insult is insulting." When faced with humiliation, your strength lies in remaining composed and unaffected. Practical actions. Recognize their motive. Understand that their attempts to humiliate are rooted in their insecurities. They feel threatened by your achievements or character. Respond with dignity. Avoid reacting defensively or emotionally. Instead, use humor or a calm acknowledgement to diffuse the moment. For example, "You're right, I did learn a lot from that mistake. It's probably why this idea is so much stronger now." Shift the focus. Redirect the conversation back to the topic at hand. For instance, "That's a good memory. Now, about the idea we're discussing." Set boundaries. If someone repeatedly crosses the line, address it privately but firmly. Let them know their comments are unnecessary and unproductive. Turning humiliation into strength. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. By refusing to let humiliation pierce your confidence, you strip it of its power. Every time you handle such moments with grace, you reinforce your self-respect and demonstrate to others that you're not easily shaken. The humiliation game thrives on reaction. By mastering your response, you transform what could be a source of shame into a testament of your resilience. Let their words fall away like leaves in the wind, and let your steady composure be the force that reminds them why they felt threatened in the first place. Number 5, the obsession to undermine. When envy grows unchecked, it often morphs into an obsession, a relentless desire to shadow your every move, scrutinize your actions, and find a way to undermine you. This isn't just about competition, it's a deep-seated fear of your potential, coupled with an urge to prove their superiority. The depth of their obsession. Imagine a colleague who seems overly interested in your work. They hover during meetings, ask intrusive questions about your strategies, and follow up with probing emails. At first, it might appear as genuine curiosity, but over time, you notice a pattern. They're not here to learn, they're hunting for flaws. This behavior extends beyond the workplace. In friendships or relationships, it manifests as constant comparisons, unsolicited advice that subtly belittles your choices, or even outright mimicry. They watch, not to admire, but to find an opening to cut you down. Marcus Aurelius taught us, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." Their obsession with undermining you is a distraction, keeping them from living their own life. The impact. The obsession to undermine creates an environment of tension and distrust. When someone is constantly trying to trip you up, it can make you question your instincts, your decisions, and even your worth. Over time, it may lead to self-doubt or paranoia, especially if you feel like your every move is under a microscope. In relationships, this behavior can be even more damaging. It breeds toxicity, as their envy leads them to tear down rather than lift up. The Stoic perspective. Epictetus reminds us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. When faced with someone obsessed with undermining you, clarity of purpose is your strongest defense. Their energy is scattered in envy, while yours must remain focused on your growth. Practical actions. Protect your space. Avoid sharing unnecessary details about your goals or personal life. Keep your plans close and let your actions speak louder than your words. Expose their intentions calmly. If their undermining becomes overt, address it with calm precision. For example, I've noticed your interest in my project. Is there something specific you're hoping to contribute? Stay focused on your path. Don't let their tactics divert you. Whether it's nitpicking your work or attempting to discredit you, remember that their obsession reflects their insecurity, not your ability. Create boundaries. Politely but firmly limit their access to your time and energy. For example, I appreciate your interest, but I prefer to handle this aspect independently. Turning the tables. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." While they obsess over how to diminish you, rise above by doubling down on your purpose. Let your progress serve as a silent yet undeniable rebuke to their efforts. Their obsession to undermine is a reflection of their fear, not your weakness. By standing firm, maintaining your boundaries, and refusing to engage in their games, you take back control of the narrative. In the end, their envy becomes their prison, while you remain free to pursue greatness on your terms. Number 6. The veil of false modesty. Not all envy is loud and hostile. Sometimes, it wears a polite mask, wrapped in the guise of humility and camaraderie. This is the envy of false modesty, a subtle attempt to overshadow your accomplishments by downplaying their own insecurities. The quiet undermining. Imagine a friend who always shrugs off their achievements with exaggerated modesty but somehow finds a way to dismiss yours in the process. You share exciting news, perhaps a promotion, a personal milestone, or a project you're proud of, and they reply with something like, "Oh, that's great for you. I mean, I could never manage something like that. I guess I just don't have the same opportunities you do." On the surface, it might sound supportive, but their words are a veiled attempt to sow doubt. Instead of celebrating your success, they turn the focus back onto themselves, leaving you questioning whether your accomplishment was truly earned or just a stroke of luck. The emotional toll. False modesty can be disorienting. Unlike overt envy, which is easier to identify, this form feels subtle and insidious. It often leaves you second-guessing their intentions, unsure whether you're overreacting or genuinely being undermined. In relationships, this can become a recurring pattern. A partner might downplay your contributions to the household, saying, "You're so good at handling these things, I could never keep up," while subtly making you feel like your efforts are merely filling gaps they've intentionally left behind. The Stoic shield. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." This principle guides us to recognize and accept others' flaws without letting them derail our progress. False modesty reveals more about the other person's insecurities than it does about your success. Epictetus echoes this sentiment: don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. In other words, don't get caught up trying to convince others of your worth. Your actions are your proof. Practical responses. Acknowledge their insecurities. Recognize that false modesty stems from a place of fear or inadequacy. Their need to downplay your success reflects their struggles, not your worth. Stay grounded. When faced with subtle dismissal, remind yourself of your achievement's true value. Write down your wins regularly to internalize your growth. Shift the focus. If the conversation veers toward their insecurities, steer it back gently but firmly. For example, "I understand, but today, I'd love to celebrate this milestone." Limit the impact. Avoid overanalyzing their words. Instead, focus on surrounding yourself with people who uplift and support your journey authentically. Rising above. Seneca's wisdom offers clarity here. True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future. Don't let false modesty dim your joy or make you question your worth. Celebrate your success fully, even if others can't or won't join in. By staying true to yourself and acknowledging your accomplishments, you maintain your confidence and resilience. False modesty may try to downplay your victories, but the strength to stand tall in the face of subtle envy is the ultimate triumph. In doing so, you quietly inspire others to let go of their insecurities and embrace their own path. Number 7. The obsession to expose your weaknesses. Sometimes envy operates like a hunter stalking its prey, patiently waiting to pounce on vulnerabilities. This is the envious individual's tactic: probing, questioning, and poking until they uncover your perceived flaws. It's less about understanding and more about leveraging your weaknesses to their advantage. The probing mask. Picture this: a colleague at work subtly steering conversations toward your challenges. "How's that tough client project going?" "You must be stressed," they say with a concerned smile. Or perhaps they dig into your personal life, casually asking questions about your finances, relationships, or insecurities. At first, it might seem like genuine curiosity or even an offer of support. But their motive becomes clear when they later twist your words into gossip or use your honesty to undermine you in a meeting. In romantic relationships, this can be equally damaging. A partner insecure in themselves might focus on your fears or mistakes, not to build understanding but to hold power. They weaponize your vulnerability, saying things like, "You always overthink these things," or "Remember the last time you messed up." Maybe this isn't your strength. The emotional impact. This behavior erodes trust and creates self-doubt. When someone continuously highlights your shortcomings, it can feel like an attack on your identity. Over time, this subtle undermining drains your confidence and leaves you questioning your own worth. The Stoic response. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. While you can't control others' probing, you can control how much power you give their words. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Don't worry about what others think of you. Focus instead on whether you're staying true to your own principles." This wisdom encourages you to remain aligned with your values and prioritize self-improvement, rather than wasting energy defending yourself against baseless criticism. Practical steps to disarm probing behavior. Be selective in sharing. Not everyone deserves full access to your thoughts and emotions. Share selectively and thoughtfully, especially with those whose intentions seem unclear. Deflect with confidence. When faced with intrusive questions, respond with grace. For example, intrusive question: "How do you manage with all those struggles?" Response: "Like anyone else, I focus on what I can control and keep moving forward." Reaffirm your strengths. Regularly remind yourself of your achievements and positive qualities. Write down your wins, however small, to reinforce self-belief. Surround yourself with support. Choose friends, colleagues, or loved ones who lift you up rather than tear you down. Their encouragement will help balance out the negativity from envious individuals. Turning weakness into strength. The Stoics believed in transforming challenges into opportunities. Instead of letting others weaponize your vulnerabilities, embrace them as areas of growth. Seneca advises, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Use the criticisms of others as a lens to identify areas where you can grow stronger, not as proof of inadequacy. Rise above. When others obsess over your weaknesses, they reveal their own insecurities. By remaining composed and redirecting your energy into self-improvement, you rob their actions of power. In the end, it's not about proving them wrong but about proving yourself right. You are more than your flaws. Because you are aware of them, you grow beyond them. That's the essence of Stoic strength. Number 8. Toxic double standards. In the world of envy and falsehood, double standards are like a cunning game. They don't announce themselves outright, but their presence becomes undeniable the moment you're held to one rule while others enjoy a different, often easier, standard. This isn't just hypocrisy. It's a subtle power play designed to make you question yourself. Recognizing the double standard. Imagine a workplace scenario. You're called out for being a few minutes late to a meeting, even though the person pointing fingers is notoriously tardy. Or consider friendships. You're expected to always lend a helping hand, but when you need support, excuses conveniently appear. In relationships, double standards can feel even more personal. For instance, your partner may criticize you for spending time with friends, but they feel entitled to do the same without question. These inconsistencies breed frustration and resentment, creating a one-sided dynamic that chips away at your confidence and fairness. The Stoic perspective. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, look well into yourself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you look there. Double standards take root when we allow external judgments to cloud our inner clarity. Instead, by grounding ourselves in self-awareness and fortitude, we can navigate these challenges with dignity and strength. Epictetus offers guidance: know what you can control and what you cannot. The actions of others fall into the latter category. However, our boundaries and responses remain firmly within our control. The hidden harm of double standards. Erosion of trust. When double standards persist, they undermine trust. How can you rely on someone who applies inconsistent rules? Self-doubt. Constant exposure to unfair expectations can make you question your own worth and abilities. Emotional drain. Navigating a world of shifting rules is exhausting, leaving you drained and uncertain of your standing. Practical ways to address double standards. Call it out with composure. Calmly point out inconsistencies without becoming confrontational. For example, I've noticed that when I'm late, it's an issue, but the same doesn't seem to apply to others. Can we discuss this? Set firm boundaries. Make it clear what you will and won't tolerate. Boundaries act as shields against unfair treatment. Don't play the game. Refuse to engage in tit-for-tat behavior. Instead, model fairness and integrity in your actions. Rely on inner validation. Remember that your worth isn't determined by others' skewed standards. Self-respect should always outweigh external judgment. The power of walking away. When double standards persist despite your efforts to address them, walking away is sometimes the most empowering choice. Seneca wisely said, associate with those who will make a better man of you. Surround yourself with people who value fairness and mutual respect. A Stoic reminder. Double standards often reveal more about the envious or deceitful person than about you. Their inconsistent behavior stems from insecurity or a desire for control. By standing firm in your values and rejecting these double standards, you reclaim your peace and set a higher standard for your relationships. Ultimately, Stoic philosophy reminds us that fairness begins within. When you embody balance and integrity, you become immune to the corrosive effects of double standards. You remain unshaken, grounded in the knowledge of your worth and strength. Number 9. Provoking reactions, a test of emotional mastery. There's a certain satisfaction some people derive from pushing others' buttons, often out of envy or insecurity. They poke and prod, saying things designed to trigger you, hoping to see you lose your composure. It's a calculated attempt to undermine your confidence and control the narrative. Yet, in the face of this provocation, Stoicism offers us an empowering reminder: you are in charge of your reactions. Epictetus teaches, when someone irritates you, realize that it is your own mind that consents to being irritated. This wisdom underscores an essential truth: no one can provoke you unless you allow it. The subtle art of provocation. Imagine being in a meeting where a colleague consistently undermines your ideas with sarcastic remarks or passive-aggressive comments. Their goal? To make you defensive, angry, or lose credibility in front of others. Or think about a family gathering where a relative constantly brings up your personal setbacks to embarrass you. These are not just moments of rudeness, they're traps set to elicit a reaction. By responding impulsively, you give the instigator exactly what they seek: control over your emotional state. But when you remain composed, you deny them this satisfaction and assert your strength. The Stoic approach to provocation. Stoics see provocation as a test of emotional mastery. Instead of retaliating, they choose to pause, reflect, and respond thoughtfully, or not at all. Silence, after all, can be a powerful counter. By refusing to engage, you strip the provoker of their power. Practical example. Imagine a coworker says, "I guess your presentation was fine," if you're into basic ideas. Instead of snapping back, respond calmly, "Thank you for your feedback. Could you clarify what you mean?" This not only shows poise but shifts the spotlight back onto them, exposing their behavior. Practical tips to maintain your composure. Pause and breathe. When provoked, take a deep breath and count to 5. This creates a buffer between the stimulus and your response. Ask reflective questions. Ask yourself, why does this person's opinion matter to me? Is their judgment a reflection of who I am? Deflect with humor. A light-hearted response can diffuse tension. For example, if someone comments on your supposed shortcomings, smile and say, "I'm glad you're paying attention." The strength of emotional detachment. Marcus Aurelius advises, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Provocation loses its sting when you refuse to give it meaning. Instead of being reactive, focus on your values and priorities. In mastering your responses, you demonstrate unshakable strength. This doesn't just disarm provocateurs, it earns the respect of those who witness your calm in the storm. Number 10, the true nature of respect, revealed through actions. The way someone treats those who hold no power over them reveals their true character. While flattery and performative kindness might be lavished upon those deemed useful, how do these individuals behave toward those they consider beneath their notice? This distinction, between genuine respect and self-serving behavior, offers profound insights into the authenticity of a person's values. Seneca reminds us, it is not what happens to you but how you respond to what happens that matters. This truth not only applies to us but serves as a lens through which we can judge the integrity of others. The mirror of power dynamics. Imagine a boss who is excessively polite to their superiors, but dismissive or even cruel to their subordinates. Or think of a friend who is generous in their praise when they need something from you, yet indifferent when you're struggling. These discrepancies in behavior speak volumes about the authenticity, or lack thereof, of their respect. On the other hand, true character shines through in small, uncalculated gestures, thanking a waiter, treating a janitor with dignity, or lending a listening ear to someone who can't offer anything in return. Stoic wisdom in action. For the Stoics, respect isn't a currency to be traded, it's a value rooted in recognizing shared humanity. By observing how people treat others, particularly those without leverage, you gain a clearer picture of their integrity. Simultaneously, practicing this respect in your own life sets a standard and creates relationships founded on authenticity. Practical steps to discern and embody respect. Observe interactions. Pay attention to how people treat service workers, colleagues, or strangers. Do they show gratitude and patience, or entitlement and disdain? Cultivate your own respect. Treat everyone you encounter with kindness and dignity, irrespective of their status or your immediate benefit. Call out hypocrisy, subtly if someone's actions contradict their words, highlight it with a calm and factual observation. For instance, I noticed you value fairness, but your comment earlier seemed dismissive. Was that intentional? Unmasking false respect. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." While some feign respect to manipulate, the Stoic approach is to remain steadfast in your values. By being genuine and consistent, you expose insincerity without confrontation. Your actions alone become a powerful rebuke. Building a legacy of true respect. When you align your actions with your principles, you inspire others to rise to the same standard. And when you judge others by how they treat the seemingly powerless, you cultivate relationships built on mutual trust, not convenience. Authentic respect, once practiced and recognized, becomes the cornerstone of a life well lived. Number 11. Flattery versus genuine praise. The deceptive masks of envy and falsehood. Flattery can be a chameleon. It wears the colors of admiration but often hides the claws of envy or manipulation. People who envy you may disguise their true feelings with exaggerated compliments, hoping to either lower your guard or exploit your good nature. Stoicism teaches us to discern genuine praise from insincere flattery, not by rejecting compliments outright but by anchoring ourselves in truth and self-awareness. The envy behind flattery. Envy is often silent, but its manifestations can be loud. Flattery becomes a tool for those who feel threatened by your success, achievements, or talents. Instead of confronting their own insecurities, they seek to disarm you with hollow praise. Workplace dynamics. Imagine a colleague who rarely contributes but showers you with compliments like, "You always know the right answer." They may simply be trying to hitch a ride on your credibility or mask their insecurity by aligning themselves with you. Friendship facades. A so-called friend might repeatedly tell you how amazing your achievements are, only to undercut you later with subtle digs or gossip. For example, they might say to others, "Oh, they're successful, but they've had so much help along the way." The Stoic perspective on envy and falsehood. Epictetus reminds us, "He who envies others does not achieve peace." Envy warps one's sense of reality, driving them to either elevate themselves falsely or attempt to diminish you. Recognizing this, a Stoic seeks to detach emotionally from such behaviors and maintain clarity of thought. The false praise trap. False praise often has a transactional undertone. Those who flatter excessively might expect something in return: support, opportunities, or even access to your circle of influence. If their flattery feels overly dramatic or misplaced, question their intent. The backhanded compliment. Someone says, "You're so lucky to have everything fall into place for you," implying your success is unearned. The over-the-top flatterer. A colleague declares, "You're the backbone of this entire team," but later takes credit for your work. Practical Stoic tools to identify flattery and deceit. Look for consistency. Genuine praise aligns with the individual's actions. Do their words match their support when you're not around? Question the motive. Is the praise timely and sincere, or does it come with a request or favor shortly after? Check for comparison. Are they trying to pit your success against someone else's as a subtle form of criticism? How to respond to flattery with Stoic wisdom. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." Accept compliments graciously but remain detached. Their opinion, positive or negative, should not dictate your self-worth. The work setting. If a colleague says, "Your skills are unmatched," you might respond, "Thank you, I'm always looking to improve," keeping the conversation balanced and grounded. The competitive friend. To the friend who says, "You're so lucky to have all these opportunities," reply with humility, "It's been a lot of work, but I appreciate your encouragement." Guarding against manipulation. Flattery can be a tool for deceit. The envious may use it to gain your trust, only to undermine you later. The key to disarming such tactics is clarity and emotional detachment. Remember Epictetus' wisdom: It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Final thoughts: building resilience against flattery. Genuine respect comes from recognizing your own value and staying true to your principles. When you know your worth, flattery loses its power over you. Stay vigilant, trust actions over words, and cultivate relationships built on mutual respect and authenticity. As a Stoic, your strength lies in your ability to remain steady, even amidst the deceptive masks of envy and falsehood. Number 12. Reclaiming glory: how to protect what's rightfully yours. Few things sting more than seeing someone else take credit for your hard work, your ideas, or your successes. It's not just an act of theft, it's a blatant dismissal of your value. In the Stoic tradition, where integrity and honor are cornerstones, this behavior is a stark betrayal of respect and fairness. But here's the twist: their attempt to overshadow you can never succeed if you hold firm to your truth and your worth. The subtle art of stealing credit. The thief of glory operates in the shadows, carefully orchestrating ways to redirect praise and recognition. In the office, you present a stellar idea in a meeting, but later, a colleague frames it as their own, basking in the applause that should be yours. Among friends, you achieve a milestone, only to have someone hijack the moment with their story, pulling attention away from your accomplishment. Their intent is clear: to diminish your contribution while amplifying their own. A Stoic's response to glory thieves. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. While the initial sting of being overshadowed is natural, the true harm only takes root if you allow it to fester. Stoicism teaches us that our worth isn't defined by the opinions of others or even by external validation, it resides within. Why they do it? Stealing credit is often a symptom of insecurity and a lack of self-worth. These individuals use your success as a crutch for their own fragile egos. Fear of competition: they see your accomplishments as a threat to their own position or relevance. A void within: unable to achieve on their own merit, they latch on to others' achievements to feel significant. Their actions reveal more about their shortcomings than about your worth. Practical Stoic strategies for reclaiming your glory. Stand firm in truth. Don't engage in heated arguments or public confrontations. Simply and calmly restate the facts: I'm glad you liked my idea. Here's how I developed it further. Let excellence speak. Continue to deliver results and embody professionalism. Over time, consistent performance outshines the hollow victories of credit thieves. Call it out with dignity. In situations where silence might imply consent, address the issue with calm authority. For instance, in a meeting, say, to add to my earlier point, I'd like to expand on the solution I proposed. Turning theft into opportunity. In the Stoic worldview, every challenge is an opportunity to refine your character. When someone steals your credit, you have the chance to refine your presence, become someone so well regarded and indispensable that their attempts to diminish you are futile. Reassess your circle. Surround yourself with individuals who uplift rather than undermine. Seek environments where integrity is valued. Excellence cannot be stolen. Seneca teaches us, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. The glory thief may momentarily enjoy the spotlight, but their actions betray their emptiness. True recognition isn't in fleeting applause but in the legacy of integrity and excellence you build. In friendships, when a friend attempts to overshadow your moment, respond with grace: I'm so happy we're all achieving so much. Let's celebrate everyone's successes. This shifts the narrative while subtly reclaiming your space. At work, if a colleague takes undue credit, follow up with documentation, emails, presentations, or reports that clearly outline your contributions. Facts dismantle deception. Reclaim your light without dimming theirs. Stoicism doesn't advocate for revenge or petty retaliation. Instead, it calls for strength through self-assurance. By maintaining your composure and focusing on what's within your control, You expose the truth without degrading yourself. Choose resilience over reaction. Let their behavior highlight your strength. When others see you remain unshaken, it elevates their respect for you. Focus on growth. Let the experience remind you of your worth and the importance of fostering environments that value authenticity. The epic takeaway. Your worth cannot be stolen because it is not rooted in external recognition, it is rooted in who you are. Marcus Aurelius said, "What we do now echoes in eternity." While the glory thief seeks fleeting validation, your steadfast commitment to excellence leaves a lasting legacy. When you embody this principle, you're not just reclaiming what's yours, you're demonstrating to the world that true greatness cannot be overshadowed. You are a force that thrives, not because others acknowledge it, but because it is undeniable. Let their envy be their burden while you rise, unshaken, with the strength of a Stoic titan. Conclusion: the Stoic path to recognizing and disarming envy. As we've journeyed through these 12 principles, the pervasive shadow of envy and falsehood becomes clearer. It's an insidious force, lurking in friendships, workplaces, and even within ourselves. But Stoicism, with its timeless wisdom, doesn't leave us powerless. It equips us with tools not only to recognize these toxic behaviors but to transcend them with grace and strength. The unshakable power of awareness. Envy thrives in the shadows, hiding behind false smiles, subtle digs, and manipulative tactics. By shining the light of awareness on these behaviors, you strip envy of its power. The first step to conquering any foe, internal or external, is to name it, understand it, and refuse to let it control your narrative. From envy to empowerment, what others do or say about you is beyond your control. But how you respond is entirely in your hands. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Rise above envy by embodying virtues they lack: integrity, humility, and resilience. From victim to victor. Recognizing envy and falsehood isn't about becoming cynical or defensive. It's about reclaiming your power. Every time someone undermines you, uses double standards, or attempts to overshadow you, they're presenting an opportunity for growth. With Stoicism as your guide, you can transform these moments of challenge into victories of character. Master your mind. Seneca advises, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By mastering your emotions and thoughts, you remain unshaken, no matter the storm. Led by example, be the light in environments clouded by envy. Your actions can inspire others to rise above pettiness and deceit. Build a legacy of integrity. In a world where envy and falsehood often seem to prevail, the Stoic path offers a way to stand apart. By living with authenticity and refusing to engage in the pettiness of others, you create a legacy that endures far beyond fleeting moments of recognition. Be the constant. Let your integrity and strength serve as an anchor, no matter how turbulent the seas around you. Embrace abundance. Gratitude transforms your perspective. When you focus on what you have and what you're building, the envy of others fades into irrelevance. The final thought. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The true battle isn't against those who envy or deceive, it's against the parts of yourself that might react to them. When you master this inner battle, you transcend the noise of falsehood and become untouchable. So, step forward boldly. Recognize envy for what it is, a reflection of others' insecurities, not your worth. Live with purpose, lead with grace, and remember, the path of a Stoic isn't just about surviving the challenges of life, it's about rising above them, triumphant and unshaken. Thank you for joining this exploration of Stoic wisdom. If this resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and continue your journey with Victory Stoic. Stay strong, stay stoic, and let your legacy shine. See you next time.